All right, we are starting a new unit, and that unit is ethics. And let me hit you with the standard Webster definition right out of the gates here. Ethics is a set of principles of right conduct, the study of the general nature of morals, and of the specific moral choices to be made by a person. Rules or standards governing the conduct of a person. Now, on a simple level, you are essentially looking at right and wrong. What is right? What is wrong? And I want to start off with a big point. And that point is ethics has a very different energy than the prior two units. And what I mean by that is that when we were learning about epistemology, a lot of it was self-contained. A lot of it was looking at ourselves. And people turn very inward generally in studying epistemology. And aesthetics, people see it as more lighthearted than the other branches of philosophy where, in all my years, I've never had people adamantly, step forward and talk till they're blue in the face. Van Gogh is so much better than Salvador Dali, and I will argue this up or down, maybe a little bit with music, but again, it's lighthearted. Hey, you like different music, you see this house different than me, you see this painting different than me, no big deal. And then ethics happens. And to some people, ethical issues are a big deal, and it becomes personal and heated, and to use the slang of your time, triggered. People get worked up. So I have to establish ground rules that I do not have to establish for epistemology and ethics. And we will adhere to these ground rules in studying ethics. Number one, we will disagree with others. Expect it. This is a good thing. It is. It's totally cool to disagree. Expect it. In the realm of ethics, you will disagree with people, but view it as a good thing. Okay, rule number two, attacking the premise of an opposing point of view with logic and evidence is encouraged. That's the nature of the game here. I want you all to get better at this. Now, if I disagree with you, that's great. But I'm going to look at why do you feel this and why do I feel this and why is my point of view resting on a more solid premise or foundation than yours. And to prove it, I'm going to use logic. I'm going to use evidence. Totally cool, wonderful. It warms my heart when I hear people do this. Number three, attacking the character or person will not be permitted. So somebody disagrees with you and you say, you're ugly. Okay, well, first of all, you sound like a total ignorant individual when you say that. And it disintegrates into this chaotic, ugly, ignorant stew of, ugh. Okay, and I don't want that. Do not attack the character. Do not attack the person. When we learn logic, this is called ad hominem attacks. It's the realm of simpletons and people I don't want any of my students to be. So again, you can attack their premise. You can attack their foundation. You will not attack their character or their person. Now, just as a general rule, when you talk louder, faster, and with more swearing, when you are in an argument, it just illuminates your ignorance. Okay, people who can argue well and can argue with logic and evidence and thinking, when you start yelling and swearing and I'm going to talk over you because I'm louder and I'm faster, that's not the way I want my students to operate. Passion is fantastic. Conviction, wonderful. I encourage that. If you only use emotion, it's flawed thinking. And I will pose a question to you if any of you have been around toddlers. When toddlers are in a disagreement, how do they go about things? Right there, only emotion, okay? So don't be that person, okay? If you're feeling so heated that you're about to lose your composure, step away. Calm down and reassess what you're going to say later, okay? Number five, it is encouraged to be open-minded and speak to people outside of your comfort zone. This lessens being in an echo chamber. And an echo chamber, if you don't know what that is, it's a safe place where I only surround myself with people who agree with me, yes men, and whatever I say, people go, yeah, you're right, yeah, you're right, yeah, you're right. The sites we look on the internet, the news we choose to watch at night, oftentimes is an echo chamber. And I'm going to force you a lot of times in this unit to talk to people you normally don't talk to, or people you might not even know, and that's okay, because that's going to build up your philosophy muscle. And ground rule number 6, use reputable sources. Shoot down disreputable sources. So if somebody says in their argument, according to the Center for Disease Control, that's a good source. Well, my cousin Joe said, okay, no offense to cousin Joe. Cousin Joe better have, his credentials in order before you use that, okay? Use good sources. Shoot down disreputable sources, okay? So I really need you all to adhere to these ground rules. So again, ethics, what I just explained earlier. So let's break this down a little more detail. A set of principles. Now, how you set your own principles of what is right conduct. And this can fall into a lot of different ways of thinking that we're going to look at. Now, the study of the general nature of morals and the specific moral choices to be made by a person. So where do morals come from? Where are you getting your morals? And it becomes epistemological in a sense. Now, this is a more tangible nuts and bolts item. Rules or standards governing the conduct of a person. So at school, we have a student handbook. Okay, that's rule or standard governing conduct. We have laws on the books on all levels, local level, state level, national level. So ethics, is a pretty big, broad brush, but at the core, it's the question, what is right? What is wrong? How do we know what is wrong? How do we know what is right? What to do when we are confused about this. So this is at the core of ethics. And today we spent the day in the LGI, one of my favorite rooms in the school, and there were a variety of ethical questions on the board, and I armed you with a dry erase marker that you could give your 2 cents. And because it's the first day, you were raw, and people were trying to figure out what to say, and then some people deviated from those ground rules, which is okay. That's why I wanted to give this as an example, and I had you put your 2 cents in, and then we went to every station and talked. It was a really fantastic way to get thinking about what ethics is all about and where you are ethically speaking. And ethics applies to lots of areas. I mean, I don't think you can go out into the world and not use ethics. But for this class, we're going to apply it to a couple different areas. And today was the hors d'oeuvre to the entree to come. And we're going to be looking at absolutist thinking versus relativistic thinking. Is there absolute right or wrong, or is everything relative? Conundrums. When faced with a hard choice, oh my goodness, what should I do? I'm presented with this very difficult decision. How do we weather those conundrums? Ethics that applies to business and the workplace ethics, animal rights, medicine. We'll have a guest speaker, a NICU nurse who's going to come in, and she'll talk to us about these life and death decisions and the ethics that are associated with medicine. War. We'll be looking at the ethics of war, politics, history, historical figures, the role ethics plays in history, altruism versus self-interest. Altruism, this idea that it is ethical to do for others. Self-interest, it's the philosophy that I should do for myself. And if everybody did for themselves, the world would work. And then the nature of freedom. Okay? And yes, that last slide again was the framework of our unit. And I want to reiterate one last point. In ethics, and metaphysics as well, it can get heated, it can get controversial. I want you to be good like this. See? These two people are disagreeing. See their body language, see the respect. 2 of my former students, they pretty much disagreed all the time, but they never made it personal. They respected each other. They looked at premises, not individuals. Throwing your classmate in a headlock, like this poor guy, one of my favorite guys there, that's bad, okay? So let's not make it personal. And again, the ground rules. We're going to disagree with each other. It's okay. Expect it. It's a good thing. Attacking the premise of an opposing point of view with logic and evidence is encouraged. Attacking the character or person will not be permitted. Talking louder, faster, with more swearing illuminates your ignorance. Passion and conviction is encouraged. Using only emotion is flawed thinking. Number 5, it is encouraged to be open-minded and to speak to people outside of your comfort zone. This lessens being in an echo chamber. And 6, use reputable sources, shoot down disreputable ones. So I am excited to delve into ethics with you, and it should be a fantastic unit, and I appreciate you watching.